Okay, so what do you use the heavy back of a knife for? Well, this is for cracking crustaceans like this big mud crab here that we got the other day. We've been keeping him alive, but we need to get him somewhere we can crack him open, but after he's cooked, obviously. So a big heavy knife like this is great for that. All right, let's move on. Okay, so the way to grab these crabs too, by the way, is by the back swimming fins. This paralyzes them. If you don't do that, they can actually reach their nippers here all the way back, and they will mash your hands. These things here will absolutely crush your hands, and you'll have broken fingers. And they get much bigger than this, so you've got to be really careful how you're handling these things. Okay, let's put this guy back, and we'll deal with him later on after we've cooked him. Do a good job. Okay, so what have they been eating, these catfish? Big prawns. These are prawn shells in here. Lots of it. Look at that. Prawns. What else have they been eating? Mainly prawns by the looks of it. Okay, so these catfish are really good to eat. Got to be careful. They've got these big danging spines right here. See this thing here? Hear it? This spine here, you get that in you, you're going to be crying. Okay, definitely. But they're really good to eat, and we'll take the heads off them in a minute. The heads are huge. You see this thing here? This is a big bony plate. They've also got spines in here. Here's another one here. This has got like serrations in here. You might be able to hear that there, yeah. So big head, big armored body. So we're going to take this off about here. We can either cut it off or we can chop it off. We're going to cut down around in here like this, and because this is really difficult to get at. Alright, so this is a lot of meat in here too. We'll take this meat here in the cheek. Nice bit of meat there. Soup out of the head there. Now we need to take this off. I'll use a stick on that to belt that through. That's really strong. No amount of knife is going to go through that. Okay. Let's do exactly that. Notice I've got their head here with it protected from the spines. I've got it in here like this, so you don't get caught by those spines. You'll really be crying. So that could be good fish bait. You know, these things just eat everything. And look at the size of the mouth, huge, absolutely huge. So there you go. Okay, so this is lawyer cane. This is actually a palm tree, believe it or not. This is what they make cane out of. So it's a multi-stemmed palm tree, and it doesn't look anything like a palm, but it has these big strong canes. Now these are live, and you can see them going off up into the trees here. We'll have a look at the leaves in a minute, and down low they're not covered in spines. They're quite safe, and these make really good bits of material to use from the jungle. So I'm going to show you what they look like when they're covered in spines. This is the easiest thing here because they're completely safe, but soon they will become covered in spines when, like here, these are, look at these are going up the trees. These are okay and all over the place, but there'll be some branches soon, and we'll have a look at those. Here, that's coming up, and this is, once you look at those spikes on there, they're absolutely lethal all on there, and this thing will come up in that cane-like thing. This is just a juvenile plant, maybe 5 years old or less, possibly, and it will look just like that later on. It will lose the spines. It keeps the spines up the top so they can grapple onto plants, all these spines.
Right.
One of our favourite spots, look here, that's petrified wood. You're not looking, that's a big chunk of petrified wood, yep, there. And we've found the palm heart thieves are in here because there's a whole stack of palms. You just saw them down. You see they've cut this down and taken out the palm heart out of there. I suppose there are millions of them here, but yeah. This is this geode, by the way, here.
Is
this
it?
Is it here, yep, that's it there. That's our geode.
Oh yeah, it is too.
Yep, yeah, this is our big agate geode. No, we're not, okay. Okay, so we might have some yabbies underneath of here. A little deep. They were the holes, but let's have a look. So these were the holes that went down into here. They might have been little ones. Oh, cracking agate, look at this. Look at that. Let's wash it. palm hot. It's a bit sour because this has been down in the water for a while. Starting to go off, unfortunately. But this is it, you need a strong knife to do it. A little bit of it. Let's move on. Huge agates in the basalt. Get hunters in the jungle, man. Check it out. Huge pegmatic areas. We're seeing lots of agates in basalt. It's a treasure trove. Yeah, g'day, BushCampingTools here, where we're out and about, as you can see, in the middle of nowhere, looking for agates in this fantastic riverbed. Already found some cracking agates, and today I've got with me here something new from Extrema Ratio. Let's come in and have a closer look at that. This is their new model, the Tuscan, okay? They take the name from Tuscany because it's got some pretty hardcore places there, beautiful wilderness and stuff. I'm yet to go myself, but anyway, yeah, out here and about, fantastic. This is a really heavy duty knife, this thing. And this is super hard wood, even though it's been buried for ages. This good old Aussie wood here. Big thick blade. Let's just have a look at this wood. You see that? Beautiful wood. It's been sitting in the river for years and it's in perfect condition. And you need a hard knife for that. If you want to take some wood, there's not much wood in the jungle here. All this stuff is wet. To start a fire, how would you start a fire? Well, you've got to have dry wood like this stuff here and try and find some, and that's perfectly good in there. Rock hard, not rotten, resist rot. Alright, let's move on. Riverbank's pretty eroded here, and there's a big hole over there, and they're yabby holes, but they're really difficult to dig out. These things can go back meters into the bank. You'd have to be really starving and desperate to go looking for them.
I'll take a picture.
I will, wait. Found this huge chunk of agate. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful here. I don't know if you can see that. We're right deep in the jungle here, and it's absolutely fantastic. Bit of a clearing here. The trees, part of the canopy's fallen down, but look at this chunk of agate in here. Fantastic. Too big to take back though. So we're out in the middle of nowhere basically with Junior Bush Camping Tools here, and another one of our adventures. And anyway, we're looking at, you know, where you're going to get wood in the jungle, and most things are wet if you want to burn something, but you're going to have to find some fallen trees like this, some fallen timber. There's our pack over there, and that's about the only place really, because in underneath of here everything is damp and wet. You've got palm fronds there which are dry, but they don't sustain much fire, so they're pretty short lasting. But in here, this is where the canopy's gone down, and you're going to find some dry wood, and that's we're going to. Thing about this Tuscan is that the grip on here, you can see that grip there. This grip, it looks a bit like their 4-ring grip, except this is made out of G10, and it's got all these great cutaways on there, so it's really, you know, grippy. I've got wet hands here. There's no problems in losing this. It's really, really grippy, and that's what you want on there if you're walking around water like this here. All right, so good grip on there. Is the wood wet? A bit, let me get it going.
Sure.
Oh, let me get it going.
Let's get going, just looking at some pictures here. Don't need to find more wood?
Yeah. Okay, so the good thing about having a little stove out in the middle like this, for a start, you can't really light a fire. Everything's wet around the place, so we've got the Toaks titanium with us, and the kid's drying off his feet, getting a bit warm there, despite it being quite warm out now. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. Well, as I said earlier on, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Tuscan from Extremaratio, which I've had out with me all day pretty much here, and for the last week out in the bush and jungle. We've been doing a bit of prospecting out here for some agates and other precious stones. It's a great family day out. Huge agates in the basalt, and really to come out here, you know, I wanted something short of a machete, something that can really handle the pace out here. Can take down palm hearts, all sorts of stuff out here. This has got a good strong blade. I wasn't worried about levering anything from a palm, nothing like that. Later on I'll show you we can use this to crack crabs. We caught a good crab the other day, right? And if you've got a big crab, what you need to do is, if there's no rocks here, we got millions of rocks around, but believe it or not, it's possible to be somewhere where there's absolutely not a rock in sight when you need one, or every piece of wood is really soft and weak or wet, and you can't use it to crack any crustacean shells. If you're going to catch any, you need a big knife to be able to go through fish, some tough fish. We've got some catfish too. Notice I've got their head here with it protected from the spines. I've got it in here like this, so you don't get caught by those spines. You'll really be crying. So that could be good fish bait, and that was difficult. You know, use the knife to smash down on the back of the blade to crack through the vertebra of the fish. Now, yeah, fish knives are great for filleting and that, but they're little skinny blades. You really can't do that for some fish. And when you're in a survival situation, you may not have the choice of what fish you're going to catch. You may just be whatever you can. So those catfish got the other day, and you know, they're not the easiest of fish to clean up, and so a big sturdy knife is really good for that. So specs at a glance, it's 7 inches, it's actually got 7 inches of cutting length. It's a 1/4 inch thick. This is a departure from their regular knives. This is a full tang in here, and there are some cutouts in there, of course, otherwise the handle would be too heavy, and it's got a really good balance. Let's see where the fulcrum is. There it is there, like that. So that's what you want. Otherwise, if the handle was solid metal, that would just go down there like that, and that's no good. It's got a little bit of exposed metal here at the pommel. There it is there. And also you've got this in the reverse grip. It's really sturdy. I'm not worried about having a guard in here because my hand really grips this thing really well. Whether it's wet or not, it's a great grip. So it comes in 2 versions, a blackened blade or a satin blade. And yeah, maybe it's right for you. Extrema Ratio Tuscan. BushCampingTools here. Thanks for watching.